Hey everyone, we're back to our normally scheduled programming. For those of you who've been staying up to date on my channel, you know that I've just posted my 4-part personal spiritual warfare mini-series. It's basically a 4-part chronicle of my spiritual warfare experience, which felt really good to get that all out. After I posted it, I started to think of all the additional events I forgot to list, like the fact that the person who's been going to spiritualists to conduct voodoo on me and other members of my family also had another family member of mine arrested and strapped down to a stretcher and declared a 5150 and taken away. I'd completely forgotten about that, and I said throughout my mini-series chronicle about my spiritual warfare experience that I was just going to try to cover the nuts and bolts because there was so much that happened over the past few years that there was too many details to recount. But I know that a common tactic of satanic people who seek the use of voodoo is to try to make their target look crazy. She wasn't able to do that with me because I was too aware of her ways, but other members of my family are far less aware of how far gone this woman was psychologically and got caught up in her traps. And as I started to try and describe just how far gone this woman was, I truly wondered how she didn't manage to get to me when I was younger, like when I was a child and a much easier target. I'm honestly surprised I've managed to stay safe and unharmed, but I think it's because my dad knew she was very off balance, secretive, manipulative, and just very off mentally, spiritually, and emotionally. And while he didn't remove her from the home, she had no authority in the household. And luckily, her work schedule had her separated from the rest of us for the majority of our day-to-day lives. So we really didn't have to engage with her much, which is also why I never had a close relationship with her. We could go several days without seeing her every week. And my dad was a helicopter dad, so I think that's what blocked her from being able to accomplish any damage to any of us growing up, although I'm sure she tried and failed. Luckily, my dad didn't pass away until I was an adult, at which point this satanic member of the family went off the deep end once my father died. But by this time, I was an adult and I was alert and aware enough to start putting things together, like her trauma, which led to her psychosis, which led to all of her satanic ways. But like I said during the 4-part series, I'll be sharing more details and building off what I've already shared as time goes on. But if you'd like to hear my personal spiritual warfare chronicles, I created a playlist on my channel that's been broken up into 4 short parts and details the key events of my story. So feel free to check out my playlist to hear the background story to what led to the creation of this channel, this spiritual channel, and see if you don't find some similarities in your story, as I've come to find we all always do. But again, back to our normally scheduled programming. In today's message, I want to address a point I touched on earlier, which is that if your enemy could take you down, they would have by now. If I was fending for myself, I would have been a goner by now, which is what proved to me that the battle was not mine. We hear these Bible verses and church phrases all the time, but have you ever taken a look at your life and actually seen how much of the Bible actually checks out in your life? Even when we're in our Job struggle era, but God restored him with double what he lost. It was just a test of his faith. Or when we're looking like Noah, being asked to build an ark in a city that's never seen rain, but God was telling Noah to prepare for something, and he was testing his obedience. Even when you feel like David, being sent to go up against a giant, or like Daniel, being sent into the lion's den. Can you be like one after God's own heart and move with courage, faith, obedience, and bravery? Have you actually taken the time to think about how much of the tests in the Bible you could actually apply to your own life? And how well you've done for your circumstances, your favor, your qualities, your future? If nothing else, I hope the fact that you're still here and about to receive what's ahead of you gives you enough reason to praise God for your life. If you're finding my content helpful, I hope you'll subscribe to my channel and tap the like button to help me reach more people in need of this message. I'll be back on with another message soon, and I upload daily, so feel free to stay tuned. In the meantime, keep your heads up, stay prayed up. I love you all, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.